Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. I am the old school game snob, and today we are taking a look at Gods Unchained and what some of the cards are worth in this free-to-play. Actually, no, scratch that. This is play-to-earn. It's the new cryptocurrency model for emerging games coming up. Man, this is going to change the face of gaming. Not, specifically this game, but just crypto gaming in general is absolutely going to revolutionize gaming. It's going to make gaming into a career for so many gamers. That's my personal opinion. That's just the way I see things going as a game dev, as a gamer myself. That's just the way I see things going. But Gods Unchained is a game that my girlfriend actually got me into about a year ago. And in today's video, I thought it would be kind of interesting to take a look at some of the cards and just how valuable some of these cards have already become, because man, oh man, these are starting to become very, very collectible, very, very expensive in some cases. So this is Token Trove, where you can go and you can buy and sell your cards. Of course, you link up with your MetaMask wallet. If you don't know about cryptocurrency, I won't bore you with the details of that in this video, but if you guys are interested in learning more about how to actually do all this stuff, I can make a video about that. In Gods Unchained, there are quality levels of cards. There are 4 quality levels, from your basic meteorite to your most valuable and rare diamond. Now these can be the exact same card with a different coding. So this is an example of a diamond card here, selling for $200. It looks like it has not had many sales so far, just 2 sales, 123 and 153. This is a relatively new card to the Gods Unchained world. I don't think it's even a very particularly good card. I'm not sure. I don't play light, I don't play deception because I hate deception. It's my least favorite god. Just so dirty. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the cards in this game. I don't know. Let's start kind of in the middle, and we'll work our way up to some of the more ridiculous prices that you're going to see here. Okay, so let's check out some legendary cards. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, when you play this game, after you play for a while, you're given a deck of cards. After you play for a while more, you're given another deck. You can buy cards, you can sell cards. I've done quite a bit of that. I bought cards like almost a year ago, 8 months ago, that have quadrupled and 10x'd in value over the last 8 months or so. Anyway, here's kind of an interesting one. This is a legendary card. It's a very common legendary card, selling for around $26 a card. And as you can see, there's like quite a lot of volume going every day, like 12, 10, 21 cards being sold. So a lot of volume for this card. Fairly common legendary card, but a very nice staple. This is one here that I am fortunate enough to have in my deck. I picked this one up at $150. It's now selling for $469 for the common meteorite variety. Like I mentioned before, there are quality levels. Meteorite is the most common and cheapest, and then if you want extra bling, they go all the way up to diamond in quality, and all that does is change the color of the card's face. That's all it does. But hey, for collectors, that's the bling. That's like flexing your muscles, right? Anyway, Avatar of Nature has actually rocketed up in value. If you check this card out, you could have bought this card in December, February, March, like it was $20, $16, $7, $29. In recent times, this card has rocketed up. It is now selling for $484. This is a Genesis card, which was sold to early adopters of this game. And how this game works is basically every half year or something like that, they seem to put out a new deck. It's not really a consistent timing, and there's only been 3 decks so far. No, 2 decks. Yeah, 2 decks that have been put out so far. There's been the Trial of the Gods, which is when I got in. That was the second one they put out. There was Genesis, which was just before that, and then you couldn't buy decks for this anymore. You had to pick up the cards on Token Trove from sellers who are listing their cards for sale. And then there were some promo decks in here, and now the newest one is Divine Order, which just came out, and you can actually still buy Divine Order cards. Here's a legendary cards. I haven't played this one yet. Anasis. So this one looks like it has also gone up a lot in value. Actually, just in May. This is another Genesis card. Just in May, June, July, August, September, October, December even. You could have picked January even. You could have picked this card up for $27. Now it is selling for $300 and something. And you can see there's a decent number of orders going through. Like these are not just pie in the sky people listing these things and hoping for the best. These are actually, this is actually an active game with a very, very enthusiastic, although still quite small, player base. This game is still very early on. I picked up this one here, Finian Fruit Bearer. I picked up 11 of these. I was speculating on the market here, thinking this is a sweet looking card that was just released. So I picked up 11 of these, around $22, and they're now selling almost up to 67 was the high. It's dropped down a little bit, down to 49, 58, 52 is what he's currently selling at. So yeah, lots and lots of cards. Let's see, what else have we got here? Do you want to take a look at some of the more ridiculous prices on these cards? Here, let's do this. Let's start by searching for cards based on just the meteorite, and then we'll get into the really ridiculous stuff in just a minute. Let's look for the highest priced cards. Here we have Jursemi, Freya's Spear. This is actually a card that you can get by playing the game, although you can't mint it yet. If you get 2 of them, you could mint this. Just from playing the game, you could actually be given this card. Hopefully, if you're kind of lucky and you play long enough. Every level you get another deck, and you get 5 cards per deck basically. And so play to earn, that's the model, right? And so you keep playing, and they give you cards. This is a core card, so you can actually be given this card. And currently, this card, let's see, this card. Just, June 8, December, this was selling for as low as $7 and, $40. This card is now shot up to, well, it was selling at $350, and it's been selling, the highest sales price so far is $672. Now, the cheapest one you can get right now is $2,900, but the best selling one was $672. So these might be a little bit overpriced at the moment, but there are only 66 of these available, like all together, right? So if you want to buy these, you don't have a huge audience to buy from. Here we go, Jason's Muse. This is, I think, maybe one of the most expensive cards in the game, if not the most. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a couple other contenders. So Jason is currently selling for $2,800, and it is actually making sales for that. If you can see, there are indeed sales for that price. It's kind of hard to zoom in, but we've got a sale there on the 22nd of November for $2,400, and there's some more up there. I can't get my mouse quite up there, but this card is legitimately selling on a routine basis for that price, and this is only the most common version of that. There are only 1,871 of these in the world, so this is again a Genesis card. Those who got in very early might have got this really cheap. Back in the day, you could pick up Jason for $31. Today, $2,800. And here's the thing, if you guys are interested in getting into Gods Unchained and kind of getting into the collectibles, this is my strategy. Okay, so my strategy is, well, when a new deck is released, right? So, for example, this is Genesis, this is Genesis, which was released in the beginning, and they were cheap. The cards were cheap in the beginning, right? Like, well, relatively cheap, $30 for this card. Right, so Gods Unchained just released the new deck, which is Divine Order. And if you look at these cards, a lot of these legendary Divine Order cards are currently cheap because they just released, but give them a year, and my speculation is maybe, just maybe, some of those, and maybe even a lot of those, are going to be starting at, you can get, like I said, you can get those for maybe like $20 and $30. Some of the Divine Order decks, but in a year from now, man, those $20 or $30 cards could be worth, as you can see here, 100x. Is that? Yeah, no, that's 100x. That's 100x of where it was less than a year ago. And so we have Jason, he's super expensive. We have Asterius, this is a very good card. Unfortunately, I don't have it. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of these cards. I had Managarmar. I sold Managarmar. I bought Managarmar for like $300. I sold him for $5, and now he's selling for $1,100. Actually, it looks like he's still selling for about $550, so I don't have to feel too bad about that. But still, Managarmar, one of the most expensive cards also in the game. So yeah, as you can see, it just kind of goes on and on and on and on, and a lot of these legendary cards are just so very expensive. That's one page, and we just kind of go down the list, right? Many cards that just have been going up and up in value. But let's get more ridiculous. Let's go to the high end, and let's get really ridiculous, okay? Because this is the state of the game we're looking at here. Let's take a look at Meteorite. Let's take a look at Jason. Here we have Jason, the one we were just looking at in the common variety. This is the diamond variety. There are exactly 6 of these in the world. It looks like it's never been an actual sale for this, and the only one listed for sale is at $200,000. That's ridiculous. Now, I don't know what the actual value of this is because no one has ever spent that much on a single card. As you saw before, people were spending thousands, but no one spent, almost $250,000 yet. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if one day, that actually happened. How about the Gatekeeper? Has anybody ever bought that? There has been a sale a long time ago for about $500. That was ages ago, so yeah, no, not really. Let's see. Yeah, these diamond cards. Here's one selling for like $1,700, $1,400. So these ones here are, there's a couple of people I think just listing really high, whereas the card value isn't actually necessarily that high, but there's just a few that are listed that high. Let's see, what would actually be something valid here? There's not a lot of diamond cards on the marketplace, right? Because there's not that many of them in the world. And those people who do sell them want a really top price for them. Palace, maybe. Palace might have something. Palace sold for, here's a sale for Palace for almost $8,000. Currently, the lowest price is listed for $25,000. There was another sale for $2,500, and also for $7,500, and also for $5,500. So those are bona fide sales. Avatar of Death. Nope, no diamond sales of that. Hey, maybe we should look into something. Oh, Neferu. I bet you she's had some sales. Yep, she's had a sale for like $8,000 and another sale for $6,000. This is one of the new cards. I think this is probably listed way too high right now. That being said, somebody did buy this for $2,100. This is one of the new cards that you can get. Actually, if you bought cards from Gods Unchained right now, you actually have a chance of drawing one of these from just like random luck. You would have to be pretty lucky, but that legitimately exists. Currently going on. Let's see, what else? Oh, Dionysus. This is probably my favorite card in the game that I never really get to use. Dionysus once sold for $6,500 back in August. Currently, the lowest price listed is $16,000. There are a total of 5 of these in the world. You can see all 5 of them listed for sale right here. Some of these prices are stupid, like some people are just smoking drugs, or typed in 1 too many, or 2 or 3 too many zeros. But legitimately, this card has sold for $6,500. Orfeo, this could be something that people have interest in. Yeah, Orfeo sold a few times in diamond, 7,000, 3,000, 3,000 a few times. Finian, oh, this is like I say, here's the diamond Finian. This is one of the more popular new cards. And this is sold a few times actually in the several $1,000 range. Currently listed for 82, but I think that's probably too high. Currently, one day maybe, but currently that's probably too high. Anyway, hey, that's very interesting stuff. Yeah, hey, that's a look for those of you who are not yet introduced to Gods Unchained. Man, if you like Magic: The Gathering, if you like Hearthstone, both of which I never played, but one of the developers of Magic: The Gathering is actually one of the guys who is designing this game, one of the lead devs on this game. So this game's development is in super capable and super experienced hands, and the team that's building this game, they're just absolutely fantastic pioneers. And if you like card games, man, I didn't even try them because I thought card games seem stupid. I don't know why those are fun. And I didn't try Hearthstone, I didn't try Magic: The Gathering. I watched some videos of them here and there, and I was a little bit apprised to what they're all about, right? And then, like I say, my girlfriend got me to play this because she was getting into crypto, and I was like, okay, I'll play just because I get to play with you, and it's kind of fun to have a game that maybe we both get into. And I was like, okay, I'll play it. But then what happened is I actually got really into it. It's kind of a thinking man's game, right? Or thinking woman's game. It's kind of like chess, right? If you haven't played a card game before, if you have played a card game, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't played this kind of card game before, it's kind of a strategic chess-like game. It's not like chess, but it's strategic in the way that you have to think forward in terms of what sort of cards you play, what your moves are, what sort of deck you build, what sort of cards you have, and what sort of opponent you're facing up against. Of course, there's some random luck involved too. I compare card games to kind of a combination between chess and poker. Element of strategy, element of luck. So you never really know what's going to happen, right? And that's what kind of makes it fun. It's because each game goes down and you never really know how it's going to go, and that can actually be pretty gripping, right? Like it's funny how worked up you can get about a card game. Like you can really get your nerves going. Right? You can get like some pretty excited moments and some pretty like exhilarated come from behind victories or something like that. It's like, oh shit, like, you know, like there's actually a lot of fun to be had in this game. Here we have a golden avatar of nature that sold for a few $1,000s a few times. Anyway, hey, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This has been a look at what some of the cards are worth in Gods Unchained currently. And you know what else is interesting about Gods Unchained? And I'm going to do a special video on this because this is actually amazing. So for the players who have been playing for like less than a year, like 8 months, you know, or something like that, the company that makes Gods Unchained is also developing a token called a Mutable X token, which is basically sort of it's like Ethereum, but it's a transaction-less, like there's no fees on your transaction, which makes trading cards better. Otherwise, when you buy things with Ethereum, every time you make a purchase, you might pay $20 or $30 in Ethereum gas fees, right? But with Immutable X, you can just buy the card and pay no fees on like the transaction. So that's why they developed that. And actually, we can actually take a look at that here. Well, anyway, I'll make a separate video about that. But the point is that a lot of these games, yeah, actually here you can see a lot of these are on Immutable X. Here's some Immutable Apes and stuff like that. This just seems stupid to me, but that's because I don't know about it, right? And that's what things often seem like when you don't know anything about them. They just seem stupid. And then you get into them and you discover why people like them and why they're actually fun or where the value actually is. Yeah, Immutable X is powering this NFT trading. And NFTs, for those of you who don't know, I'll make a separate video on that because, like I said, I'm going to cover kind of crypto gaming stuff on this channel. But the point is that Gods Unchained recently gave away an airdrop to anybody who owned like at least one of their cards and had played some games. So basically, if you had spent $20 or something like that and bought a card, you know, at any point during the year and played some games, they gave out airdrops. And don't ask me how the hell they find the budgeting for this, but they do because crypto is so crazy right now. But basically, they airdropped like I don't know, probably thousands of players. Basically, everybody who had a card, you know, if you and played a few games. They airdropped everybody. Oh, Demogorgon. We forgot to look at him. We're going to look at him in a second. They airdropped everybody about 500 Gods Unchained tokens. And the value of a Gods Unchained token is currently $5. So basically, they gave away each player $2,500 of Gods tokens. Just if you had a $10 card in your hand that was buyable and sellable on the token trove, not just like one that you got for free, but if you actually bought a deck of cards from them and were one of the early supporters, and you even spent like $50 or whatever, they airdropped all of those card holders $2,500 worth of tokens, and you could actually cash that out and put that in your bank. Like I received that airdrop and it's legit, and that came to my MetaMask wallet, and I could actually cash that out and put that in the bank. But in addition to that, it got even more ridiculous because what they also did is they airdropped immutable tokens. Like I said, this Gods Unchained is one of the games that Immutable X has created, and Immutable X is like Ethereum. It's a fee-less transaction system, and what they did is they, again, for anybody holding the cards from Gods Unchained and anybody who had also played a certain number of games, not really even too many, and anybody who had connected their wallet received a Immutable X token drop, anywhere from 1,000 Immutable X tokens, somewhere to up like 3,000 Immutable X tokens. And Immutable X tokens are currently worth $8 a piece, right? So they gave players somewhere between $8,000 to $25,000 worth of Immutable X tokens. Hey, upon listening back, I think I needed to specify something there. When I said they gave players somewhere between like $10,000 to $25,000 worth of tokens, I don't mean they shared that up amongst everybody who was playing. They gave each player who basically held some cards that amount each. It was, I don't know how many millions of dollars they gave out, but yeah. Anyway, okay, on with the rest of the video. And once again, it's like totally legit. You can take that, you can put that into, USD Tether or Bitcoin or Ethereum. You could move that into your bank account and actually have that as money. It's not like locked into their system or anything like that. You can actually, that's yours. They just gave all that away. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on in the crypto gaming industry right now. Actually, one of the things I'm going to do on this channel is try to find more airdrops like that, because there's a lot of new crypto games coming and going right now. And because of just like the surging popularity of the crypto gaming field and all the money in it right now, a lot of these crypto games are giving away tokens. Actually, Bitcoin even did that. I just was watching a video. Bitcoin gave away tokens back in the day. All you had to do was go to a website, click the CAPTCHA, you know those "Are you human" little things? I clicked the CAPTCHA and put in your wallet address, your crypto wallet address, and Bitcoin early on, 10 years ago or whatever it was, gave you 5 Bitcoins for that. Right? 5 Bitcoins today would be worth $250,000. And back in the day, when it was just getting started and it didn't have perceived value yet, Bitcoin was just giving away tokens by the bundle, right? It was just giving you away for doing like an activity that took you 10 seconds to complete. And that is actually going on right now with crypto card gaming. So hey, you guys subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to do my best to put out videos just like hyping the crypto gaming field. Like I say, as a developer of games myself, I'm also working on a crypto game, maybe hopefully one day, if I ever get my development team to kind of keep pushing through. I've got some great artists, great musicians. Developers have been great on and off here and there. And actually, if you are a developer and you're interested in like partnering up, I've got quite a lot of progress done on a game I've been working on, and could definitely use some development help on somebody who's looking to partner up. Unfortunately, I don't have much of a budget for affording AAA developers, but if you are an enthusiast with some skill in dev and you want to join up with my team, we actually have a really cool game that has even a lot of gameplay demo already working, and it's going to be sweet. It's going to be a sweet little sort of ship versus ship arcade game and a bit of universe exploration. Right, so I'll tell you more about that if interested. Hit me up on the Discord if you're interested in maybe, just like getting in on the team. And like I say, what we can do is we can sort of share up some tokens, and who knows, if it takes off one day, it could be worth tens of millions of dollars. Who knows, right? Like that's how crazy crypto gaming is right now. But yeah, for anybody else who's not a game dev, what I'm going to be doing with this channel is featuring different crypto games that I think are cool, not ones that I think are lame. Like I say, old school game snob. I only get into things that I think are actually cool, and it's hard to find things I think are cool. But if I think it's cool, or if I think you can just jump through a couple hoops and get like a $20,000 airdrop, hey, I'm going to mention those too, because this is a legit thing that just happened this year, and it's going to happen, I think, a lot more over this next year. It's gonna be crazy. Oh right, we're gonna take a look at Demogorgon. This is a card I wish I had. Demogorgon. Such an important card. Let's see. This has sold for up to $14,000. That's our highest one. Of course it is. It's Demogorgon. This is one of the most infamous and powerful cards that a lot of early adopters, earlier than me, got. And unfortunately, I have not yet got a Demogorgon. Let's take a look at Demogorgon. Oh no, that's okay. You know what? That's good enough. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Oh, and I should probably mention, head on over to Play Gods Unchained, playgodsunchained.com. You just need to register for an account and download the Games Unchained launcher client, and you should be off to the races. You don't need to buy any cards. You can just play with the welcome set. That's what I did actually for a couple of months before I started getting hooked. If you do decide to buy some decks off the bat, let me give you a bit of advice. I would recommend buying the rare decks. The rare decks actually can contain epic and legendary. The epic and legendary decks are guaranteed to contain at least one legendary card, but they're quite expensive, and you don't know which legendary you're going to get. You could get quite a good one that's worth, maybe double or triple what the pack's worth. Of course, you could get skunked out and get something that might be worth like half of that. If you really want to fill out your deck, I would just say buy like 100 or whatever you want, 50 of the rare decks, and in those you can get epic, you can get legendary, you can even get shiny ones of different quality. But you can also get basically a lot of the essential stuff that you need to make your decks with the Divine Order cards. So that would be my advice. That's what I did. I bought like 100 rare decks. That being said, I don't recommend buying cards to start. Instead, play the game. It's going to give you all the welcome cards, a bunch of core cards. Play the game, and these welcome cards and core cards, you can actually become like a mythic ranked player using just core cards, right, which is your highest ranking. So they don't suck. There's some of the best cards in the game are core cards and even welcome cards. But for building some really interesting deck combos, then you want to look at Divine Order, you want to look at Genesis, you want to look at Trial of the Gods, these different decks, just to make things more interesting sometimes. But yeah, do not start by buying decks. Just play the game, have fun, see if you dig it, and then, if you get hooked like I did, you might be back here. But and like I say, pick up rare decks. That would be my advice. All right, okay.